Hi and welcome back. In this video, we're talking about re-raising errors and the onSuccess block. As you can see, I've written some code here. That's just because I didn't want to bore you going through writing all of this code, especially because it's only example code. This code is also available in the code lecture on GitHub, and that lecture is at the start of this section. So if you've not yet downloaded or had a look at the code for this section, you can go to the first lecture of the section and go to the GitHub link that's there, and you can see this code. The resource that's attached to this lecture contains an explanation for some reasonably related sample code as well, but it's not exactly the same thing. Just because the resource attached to this lecture has some explanations and it uses some pseudocode to explain some concepts, the code that I'm seeing here on my screen, the code that you're seeing on your screen, is on the GitHub. So feel free to download it and have a look if you want. So what we've got is a user class. Nothing new here. It's got an init method that takes in a name and a property engagement, a variable engagement, and then sets the name to be name and the engagement metrics to be the engagement property there. Then it's also got a dunder repr function that returns the user's name in a nicely formatted string. This user class is going to be used by this getUserScore function that takes in a user parameter. This is going to try to return whatever the perform calculation function gives us with the engagement metrics of the user passed in, and if it fails, it's going to print out incorrect values provided with a key error. Perform calculation takes in the user's engagement metrics as a parameter there, as an argument, and then returns the clicks property of that metrics multiplied by 5 and the hits multiplied by 2. So imagine this is a user that's visiting a website and we want to calculate, their score to see how engaged they are with our brand. If the clicks multiplied by 5 and the metrics, the hits multiplied by 2 gives us a particular value, we're going to say, this person is very engaged. We've also got down here another function called send engagement notification. And this would send them an email saying, thank you for being so engaged with our brand. Here's a coupon code for you to download or something. Of course, this doesn't actually send any emails right now, but we could do that and we'll look at sending emails later on in the course. Then at the very bottom, we're creating a user. Rolf is the name, and these are the engagement metrics. He's done 61 clicks and 100 hits. And then we're going to call the getUserScore function here for my user. So this is the sample code we've got. Not too much code, I hope. Fairly understandable, I hope. It can sometimes be handy to do something with an exception, handle it, like we do here. But then it can also be useful to not silence it, i.e. keep letting it bubble up and eventually crash your program, so you know that you've done something wrong at some point. For example, the exception here, key error, is caught, and if we were to mess up and create our users with a click key instead of clicks, this is going to fail with a key error because clicks won't be a key of our metrics dictionary that is down here. So let's run UserScore. Remember, right-click it and run it. And you'll see